Good evening, Empire Oaks students. Thank you so much for joining me for Sunday Stories. I am excited to read this story to you this evening. It's called Simon's Hook, and it's a story about teases and put downs, and it helps us learn how to react or respond to when someone teases us or they put us down, they call us a name, or they make fun of us somehow. This is a great book that gives us some strategies on how to deal with that. Okay, so I want you to listen carefully this evening. This is written by Karen Burnett and illustrated by Laurie Barrows. And there's Simon on his hook, and let's get started. It was a bad hair day for Simon. First, his sister lost her gum, then she found it in his hair. When she tried to fix it, she went snip, snip, and a big chunk of his hair was gone. He grabbed his hat and ran outside, hoping no one would see. And no one did see until Simon fell and lost his hat. That's when Joey yelled, "What happened to your hair?" Everybody turned to look. "Who cut it?" Nicole asked. "What did they use, a lawnmower?" Miguel said as he laughed. "Hey, lawnmower head," Joey said. Simon grabbed his hat and started to leave. "I've got to go home," he said, and stomped away. "I've got chores to do." "Don't forget to cut the lawn," said Nicole. Everyone laughed. Everyone but Simon. Simon ran and ran. He ran until he couldn't see his friends anymore. "Why did they make fun of me?" he yelled. "Why don't they just leave me alone?" Simon was so mad he didn't see Grandma Rose until he ran into her. "Whoa," she cried. "What's the hurry?" "I'm going home," Simon cried. "Why?" asked Grandma Rose. "What's wrong?" "I'm having a bad day," said Simon. "A bad hair day? What's wrong with your hair?" she asked. Simon took off his hat. "Oh," said Grandma Rose. "I see." Simon told her about the gum and his sister's haircut. Then he told her what happened at the park. That's too bad," she said. "Yeah, and they'll tease me again," said Simon, "and I don't know what to do." Grandma Rose shook her head. "You do have a problem." But then she asked him something really strange. "But why did you bite?" "Bite?" cried Simon. "I didn't bite anyone." No, that's not what I mean. "I know you didn't bite anyone," she said. "What I mean is, well, wait here. I'll be back in a minute." Grandma Rose disappeared into her garage. Then when she returned, she was wearing a fishing outfit. On the end of her fishing line was a piece of paper. What's she doing? First she talks about biting. Now she's going fishing? "You see, Simon," Grandma Rose said as she cast out her line, "when people tease you, it's like they're throwing out a hook to see if you'll chase it and bite." "Oh," Simon said as he watched the hook fly through the air. "Now I see what you're doing. This is a lesson." "That's right," said Grandma Rose with a wink. "It's a fishing lesson." "Today they made fun of your hair," she said as she dangled the hook in front of Simon. "They called you lawnmower head." You see how the hook has that little note on the end of it? Lawnmower head. "And you bit." "I sure did," he said. "Well then," said Grandma Rose, "grab the hook." Grandma Rose pulled Simon all around the patio. "I've caught you," she said. "You're not a free fish anymore." "But what else can I do?" cried Simon as he flew through the yard. Grandma Rose put the fishing pole aside and sat down. "Well, I know a story that might help," she said. "It's a fish story. Would you like to hear it?" "Sure," said Simon. Grandma Rose took a sip of lemonade and began to talk. Once upon a time, there was a famous fishing spot. People came from miles around to tease the fish with their hooks. When the fish bit, the people would reel them in. Many fish were caught. Do you see how these hooks have papers on the end of them? This one says, "You look weird." This one says, na 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 na, you can't get me. This one says, droopy eyes. This one says, ha, I've got you. All right, and then you can see what all the fish say or are thinking in response. I'll let you read some of those. Fish watched as their friends were caught. Soon there would be no fish left. They had to learn how not to bite, and they had to learn fast. So they talked to older fish. They talked to the sea creatures too. They asked questions, they took notes, they studied hooks, and they learned. See them asking questions here. How did you keep from biting all these years? What's your secret? You could just ignore the hooks. I sure hope these fish learn not to bite. Me too. Just play it cool. Can you help us? What can we do? Now, class, this is what we've learned. Okay, here is the lesson. And you see 5 ideas here. Let me read them to you. It says, instead of biting, number 1, do little or nothing. In other words, don't react. Number 2, agree with the hook. Number 3, distract the fisherman. Change the subject. Number 4, laugh or make a joke. And number 5, stay away from the hooks. Swim in another part of the sea. Here's those 5 strategies. The first idea that they had was to do very little or nothing. Don't react to the hooks. Okay, you can see the hooks here. I can beat you. Your mother is a big fat tuna. And then how do they react? Cool. Why chase the hooks? Just ignore them and stay free. Hey, you two, don't you see this hook? Sure, but we just ignore it. It's your turn. See, they're playing a game. They're not worried about it. They're playing checkers down here. This one says, you have mossy fins. Ah, thanks for telling me. Just glance at the hook, then go back to what you're doing. Hooks are no big deal unless you make them a big deal. Boy, you're a big deal though. Hey, Four Eyes. See this little fish with glasses? And he says, did you say something? Like he didn't even hear him. The second idea they had was to agree with the hooks. So this one says, well, that was a dumb joke. And he says, it sure was. This one says, here comes fish breath. And he says, that's me. This one says, you're caught in the seaweed. And he says, yep. Just don't argue with them. Well, that's one way to shut them down really quickly, right? This one says, you don't have to totally agree. You can agree that it could be true. Like this one, this is a dumb sea. It could be. Do you really think so? Nah, but why agree? Nah, but why argue? This one says, you're slower than pollywogs. You're probably right. Sometimes we are. Okay, so that's how you can agree with the hooks, or kind of agree. Here's the third one. The third idea was to distract the fisherman or change the subject. Stubby fins. Hey, look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, what's up there? Nothing, I'm just trying to distract the fisherman. This one says, you missed me. Well, what I really miss is my seaweed house. I built it last year when the waves washed it away. It was the neatest house, blah, blah, blah. All right, already. We don't need your whole life story. Just point at something or talk about something else. This one says, you flunked fish school. I'll be back in a second. I've got to go use the bathroom. Fish don't use bathrooms. Well, this one says, baby. Oh, how's the weather up there? Shh, he's just changing the subject. It's another strategy. Just change the subject. The fourth idea was to laugh or joke about the hooks. So then you're laughing with them and they're not laughing at you. Okay, so here's a couple of examples. Fatso, you big old whale. And then the whale says, honk, honk, whale coming through. The shrimp, when someone's called a shrimp, oh, I thought it was a turtle. Scaredy cat, yikes, did somebody say cat? Far out, purple spots. Yuck, you've got purple cooties. Oh no, purple cooties. I don't listen to what they say. I just smile at them. I like this idea the best. Oh, it's my favorite too. Laugh at yourself or the hook. Don't make fun of the fisherman. So don't make fun back. Just laugh or make a joke. And the fifth idea was to stay away, swim in another part of the sea. So here's some examples. You talk funny. Hey, wart face. You lost. What is happening over there? Oh, someone's throwing hooks. Well, let's go see. No way. Just stay away. Come on, let's go play basketball. I'm staying here. Freckle face, you're so ugly. What can you do instead of swimming near the hooks? We could play hide and seek in the seaweed. I can swim with the minnows. We can pick up trash. Look at that sharp hook. Come on, let's swim in another part of the sea. I could read a book. Think of all the other things you could do. Just go do something else. Now the fish don't bite. They don't even chase the hooks. Groovy. We're too smart to bite. We're free. Yeah, we passed. I'm so proud. You see them with their graduation caps because they learned something. They're graduating. So sorry to see you go. Bye. These fish don't bite anymore. Let's go somewhere else. Let's see. He needs to go back to fish school. Now, honey, don't throw them hooks. Grandma Rose leaned back and smiled, and that's how the fish learned to stay free, she said. Simon thought. He thought about the hooks and about the fish. He thought about how the fish learned not to bite. Then he said, they can tease me all they want. I won't bite. I'm going to be a free fish. Good for you, said Grandma Rose. Simon jumped up and ran to the playground. He couldn't wait for someone to say something about his hair. He didn't have to wait long. As Simon ran up, someone yelled, hey, Lawnmower Head is back. Yep, I'm back, said Simon. How's the hair? Miguel asked. It's still on my head, said Simon. At least what's left of it. Simon and Miguel laughed. Did you mow the lawn? Nicole asked. No way, Simon cried. It might end up looking like this, he said, pointing to his head, and everyone laughed. Come on, let's play, said Joey as he threw Simon the ball. And Simon was a free fish. Can you be a free fish? See how many different ways you can answer these hooks without biting. Okay, I'm just gonna show these to you and you can see them. Look at all these different hooks and think about how you would respond without biting. Remember, you can always pause or rewind to go back and look at those. But that would be great practice. If you have trouble responding when someone teases you, you could practice with those. Such a good story. And I hope that you learned something in this story. I hope that you got something out of it. If you ever need any reminders, feel free to ask me and I can help you remember what those 5 different strategies are, okay? Strategies not to bite, don't take the bait, okay? And how to deal with anyone who might tease you or put you down. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this story this evening. Have a wonderful night and sweet dreams.